Okay, I think I just clicked on Revit. We'll see here in a second. Thought I did, maybe not. There we go. So here's our simple building exercises from the book, and then if you have your book out, you can start on page 2-20, I believe it is. Yep. So probably have it memorized now. So let me maximize this for the screen. We're going to do a new. If you've copied those files over, if you didn't have it, but you should have an architectural template. So click on architectural template. It's going to be a project. And just say OK. So I'm going to pop this over, see if I can dock this. Oops. My properties up here. Sure why that's so. If you don't see those, you want to go to View, User Interface, and turn on Project Browser and Properties. I'll just pull them down and stack them. So properties will be on the top. And I'll just see if I can push this over here. And we'll leave it on the side. Why does that keep going over? Gotta resize them, I guess. Bear with me. There, that'll work. So we have a properties and we have a project browser. Normally it just comes up the way it shows. So down here we have our project browser. You can see I'm in level 1. Level 2 is here. Again. And we come down, we can see sheets. So this is where we're going to start down here. This is just floor plans. These little boxes are elevations. If I right click on sheets, I'm going to say new sheet. Gives us this option. And it's asked us for a title block. Well, there's only one loaded by default. We're going to go load our own. So say load. You should go to US Imperial. We're going to go all the way down and you'll see title blocks folder. You may not have all of these, but this is the file I uploaded to Blackboard. If you don't see it, it's B11 by 17 horizontal. Just say open. And there it is. And just say OK. There's our title block. We're in this sheet, and you'll see, if I hit the plus sign, it's called A101 Unnamed, as you can see over here. If I left click on it, it turns blue. And if I double click, it brings me into an edit screen. In edit, we can modify it. We can delete some things. And now what I want to do is I'm going to zoom in and insert that picture we have. You're going to put your picture, so we'll just say insert image. And I'll go to my CIE 101A, go to raster images. There's my selfie. Hit open. Just place it here. You've got these handles. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you there. And we'll pull it in. Just pump it up here in the corner. Leave myself a little bit of a border. We'll throw it right in here. In Revit, to zoom extent, you don't have to hit zoom enter, Z enter, E enter. Just hit ZE. Brings you back to the full title block. Now, we're actually in the title block editing mode now, so in order to get back to our model or our project, we're going to say load into project. Overwrite the existing version. And now over here where it says unnamed, I'm just going to double click this and we're going to call it simple. Go BLDG1. We'll zoom in. Issue date would be 4/14, whatever day's date is. Put your name here. Checker we don't need. Project number will be 1. This sheet we'll call it 100. Scale, don't worry about that. That'll populate itself. Over here, owner will be CIE 101. Project name will say University of Maine. Okay. Click outside. We've got our title block all set. Now let's go back up to our floor plan, level 1. We'll just double click this. So now we're into our floor plan. Eventually I'll figure out why this is going crazy on me. Okay. So according to the book, we want to put a wall in here. So I'm going to select architecture, wall. And you'll notice it goes to this. If you don't see that, you can hit manage and then place wall again. You should see this rectangle. And we're going to place an 8-inch generic wall, which is by default. Just place a rectangle right here. This rectangle now needs to be 70 feet tall, 100 feet wide. Just left click here on the dimension. I'm going to type in 70 feet. Notice it automatically adjusts. And then on this one will be 100 feet. So now we have 100. Now to lock those dimensions, we want to keep it that way. You can click right on this little dimension right there and you'll see it turns black. It's fixed. Hit escape, pulls you out. Now, in this level, if I just hit modify here, it brings us back to our floor plan. I want to do this. I know from previous experience now that this needs to be 1/16 of an inch equals a foot to fit on an 11 by 17 piece of paper. So I'll just click this down arrow, go down to 1/16 of an inch equals a foot. Now see what happens to the text? It got bigger because now it'll be readable on that size sheet of paper. Everything in Revit will automatically adjust to the scale that you're going to be plotting out as far as text and whatnot. Okay? Next thing we're going to do, excuse me, go back to our wall command. We're going to start at the center point. You'll notice when I get to the center, it gives me that triangle. When I see the triangle, just left click, bring it all the way to the end, and just left click here. There's our center hallway. We're still in our basic wall, and if you move your mouse here and just start pulling it up, you'll see dimensions appear. So I want to go up 8 feet. This is to center. You'll notice it says to center wall, and I've already made a mistake, so I'll fix that in a second. So we're going 8 feet. I'm going to left click, go all the way to this end, and stop right here. Now, right now it says on the height it's unconnected, so I need to fix that because I just want it to go from level 1 to level 2. And to show you the reason for that, if we go and look at, go up here to view and select 3D, default 3D, there's our wall. And it's actually just set to 20 feet. And I just want it to go to the height of the walls. If you look at your north elevation here on this side, you'll see that level 1 is at 0, level 2 is at 10, and this is just set to 20 feet. So I'm going to adjust those walls. Let's go back to our level 1 plan. I'm just going to select all of my walls. Over here where it says unconnected, we're just going to say to level 2. Left click. Now when I go back to that 3D view, which has been created now here, you'll see my walls are much shorter. They're actually within that level 1 to level 2 elevation. So again, everything within Revit is done by elevation when it comes to 3D, even though we're just drawing in 2D. Now be careful when you go back that you don't hit a ceiling plan, because we're not working there. We're working on the floor plan, which is right here. So level 1 floor plan. All right, our next wall, go to architecture wall, same thing, but this time under height, let's match it to level 2, so it'll automatically work that way. If I zoom in here, I'm just going to go from my center point over 16 feet. Very easy to do. Bring it down, intersect this wall. You see how it cleans up those wall intersections? Now we're going to select our circle tool. We're going to create a radius wall, starting right in the center. And again, you can see the diamond shape, or the triangle, gives us a center point. We're going to make this 14 foot radius, just like that. Hit escape. So again, if we go to our 3D model, we can see our walls taking shape here. One of the things we can do now is just delete the top half of this arc. So just select it and hit delete. Okay. Now, the boss has come in and said, oh, that needs to be a 12-inch wall on the outside. Well, we made it 8. Hover your mouse over the wall on the left side and hit your tab key. You'll notice it picks up all the connecting walls around the outside, and then just hit tab and left click so it selects it. By just coming over here to our properties and dropping this down, we see some other walls. What I want to do is change this to a 12-inch generic wall. Just left click. It automatically updates those walls for us and makes these thicker, and the interior walls 8 inches. Very simple. Okay, next thing we're going to do is put a door in here, right in this corner. So I'm going to select our door tool. There are lots of doors out there, we just need to load them up, but right now we just have these interior doors set up. There's a bunch of different sizes. We're going to go with 36 by 84. Make sure if it's not blue, click on tag on placement right here. As I move my mouse across the wall, you'll see a door appear. I want this door to be over 2'6" from the center line of this wall. 2'6". If I move my mouse down, you'll see it swings out. Move it up, it swings in. So I'm just going to left click here. You'll notice I got 2 arrows. If I want to change the hand, I can change it here, or I can change it back. And by placing that tag on placement, it actually numbers the door automatically for us. There it is. Okay. We'll leave that for a minute. We're going to move down to the bottom. We're going to go to architecture. We're going to place a column. And the first thing we're going to do is place a structural column. We have a W10 by 49. Should be a standard. There's others in there, but we're just going to use this one. And just place it about, 10 feet out from the wall. Oops, made a mistake. None of the created elements are visible. Why? Because I have to set the height to level 2. Now I can place that 10 feet out. So even though it looks like there's only one, if I go to my 3D model, what we'll see is an extra column down below. So I'll just delete that one. Not a problem. We'll zoom in. There's our steel I-beam, standard W-beam. Now we're going to go back to our column again. This time we're going to put an architectural column, which is an encasement, 24 by 24 inch encasement. There are other sizes available and different ones. We're just going to place that on the center. Hit escape or cancel. Now what we're going to do is select both of these objects by just dragging our mouse through this area. And up here now you'll see this changes, this ribbon bar changes to a different option. So we're going to say save. And we're going to call this column set. Okay. Once we do that, we'll just click out here in the empty space. We'll do if you double click your middle wheel, it'll zoom out to the view. It's another way to do a zoom extents. Just double click your middle wheel. And we're just going to do a file, save. We're going to call this one, put it in my CAD drawings folder. You see I got a bunch of them. I'll call it simple building 2. Okay, that's the end of part 1. Now if you're in the book, we're moving forward. You can read through this stuff, but we're moving up now to page 2-34, and we're going to create additional offices here. If I take my mouse and I just drag through the wall, the door, and the label, what I'm going to do is hit my copy tool, and I'm going to select multiple. I want to make multiple copies. So I'm going to start at my center line here on the outside wall and move to the center line here, 16 feet. Because it's set to multiples, I can keep doing that. And you'll notice the door label changes each time. Once you finish 5, we'll just hit escape twice. Hit escape to unselect it. We've got this little bigger office, you know, for the president down here. So what we'll do with this one is just select the door and the label. We're going to take our mirror tool, pick axis. We're going to select copy is turned on up here. Select the middle wall, left click right there, and there's door number 6. So that changed the hand to the other side. Okay? So next, that mirrored our axis. We're going to create some small petitions down here at the bottom, some cubicles for those lower workers. So select our wall tool. We're going to already make sure our height is set here. We're going to change our wall thickness now to a 3 1/8 inch petition, 1 hour. Starting right here, we're going over a distance of, make sure you're 8'6". Going up a distance of 8'6" and over a distance of 5. Hit escape and escape again. There's our petition. Now we want to create multiple petitions. So I'm going to take and select both of these walls together. We're going to select this array tool. In the array tool, we're going to set it to linear. And we're going to set our number to 10 to start out with, and we're going to say last. So what this will do is we'll pick a first point and a last point, and it will divide these evenly throughout. So I'm going to select this point to this point. Whoops, screwed that up. Sorry, let me undo that. Got to read the directions. We're copying these 8 feet apart. So linear, we're going to do 10, first to last. Oh, right here. We're just moving them 10. And I'm just going to move this 8 feet. Hit enter. What is wrong with me? Oh, sorry. Done it too many times. We want second. I jumped ahead the wrong way, not last. 10 is the number. So now we go from here to 8 feet. So now we can see we got 10. Well, now it appears that we have room for 2 more. So by just typing the number 12 in here instead of 10, it will expand that to 12 cubicles instead of 10. Down here on the far end, you can see that this one, get this little cubicle, doesn't make sense. So we're going to extend this wall over. So if I just select this, selects as a group, and right up here it automatically gives us a menu. We can ungroup it. Hit escape. Now I can take this wall and delete it. Take this wall and just bring it over until it touches this wall. Okay, somebody gets a little bigger cubicle. Alright, now back to where I was before. If we go to our Manage tab up here, there's this load icon. So we're going to hit the load. There's our column set that we created before, and we're just going to say OK. Notice this highlights down here. I'm going to move this from the center point over to this center point. Okay? This is where I jumped ahead before. Now I'm going to hit my array tool, linear, group. The number is going to be 10. I think I want to go back and check my, yep, 10. This time we want to say last. And we're going to select this point and this point, and it will place those columns evenly across that dimension. I want to move this dimension line out a little bit. I'll just grab this and pull it down so it gives me a little bit more space. So having this much of the building done, if I go to my 3D model again, there's our columns and our buildings and our cubicles. I'm going to go down to my simple plan down here with my sheet, zoom out, or just double click my mouse wheel, go back up to my level plan, floor plan, hold your mouse in and just drag it over and place it on here. I'm going to move this up so that my title's on the bottom, and there's my floor plan. You'll notice this populated down here at 1/16 of an inch equals a foot. We'll go back to our floor plan now, and I just want to select this, hold down my control key, select this, and select this. Now if I just hit my right mouse button, I can say hide in view elements. They disappear. And they also disappear here in my simple building. Okay, go back up to our level 1 plan. And what we're going to do now is just put some dimensions on here. It's not in the book, so we're just going to go to annotate, aligned. We're going to go, you'll notice it says wall center line, so it automatically will pick up any wall center lines that you see. So I can do this one to this one, and it almost kind of snap right into place for you. These should all be 16 feet apart. Except for the last one. Okay. And we'll put a depth here. You can use your own judgment as to the distance on these things. And we'll put a hallway width. I'll leave that right in. We'll put that right there. I want to put a annotate a radial dimension for this wall, 14 feet. If I want to, I can just take this dot and just pull it out so it gives me a little bit more room. There's probably some things I haven't figured out on this, like making this horizontal, but I will get to that at some point. Down here we'll put some typical dimensions for from this end point to the center line is 5 feet. This point to the center line is 8'6", and then this point to here is 8 feet. We can put a dimension from here to the center point at 50 feet. And really that's probably all we need. Let's go back to our simple building 1. You can see all of our dimensions have followed this. I can move some of this stuff around. There we go. Shorten some of these things up so they look good. Everything lines up. So now you see how quick and easy that was. What we're going to do now is export this. Instead of a PDF, we're going to use a DWF. So I want to go up here to my R tool, just like our old A tool, do an export, DWF. And what you want to do is go to your DWF properties first. And under print setup, make sure it says use sheet size, or you can say ANSI be 11 by 17, but if I say use sheet size, and it should work fine. We'll say OK, and now element properties, room spaces, and separate boundary area. I don't really care about that. And we'll just say next. We're going to give it a name. I'm going to put this in my raster images. I don't want raster images. I want lab work PDF, even though it's a DWG. Simple building 2 DWF, and just say OK. So it's done. I'm going to minimize this for a second. We'll go take a look at it. Put that in A, did I? Lab work PDF. There's Simple Building 2 DWF. There's actually a program, it's called Autodesk Design Review, that I'm able to look at it. I'm not sure if you have that when it downloaded. It may be still part of your old Autodesk stuff that you put in. And there's my PDF file that I can print out. Similar to a PDF, we can look at areas. We can see and this kind of automatically does your line weights for you. So everything is kind of set up for you. So we'll get into that a little bit more. There we go. Escape. So if I was an architect and I was marking stuff up, I would use this. I can put markups and measure things. So there's a measuring tool. I want to measure the length from this point to this point. Tells me it's 1188 inches. So you could probably set this to feet or whatever you want it to be. We'll close that out. That's what I'll be printing out. You're going to upload that file, the DWF file, to the Blackboard site. So you just take this, upload it to Blackboard. Under week 9, there's a place to upload this information. Now finally, if I go back to my Revit tool, I want to do a file save. And you'll notice when I do a file close, I think it'll give me a screen, and it's going to say, when I say file close, it's going to ask, do I want to save the changes to this? Well, yeah, I'm going to use this again, so I'm just going to say yes. And under B 11 by 17 horizontal, I'm going to put my initials, CJ2, at the end, and just say save. So that'll be ready for me the next time I'm ready to work. So upload that to PDF. I hope, I didn't go too fast, but that is the basic concept for Simple Building 1, Simple Building 2. You can see I've done it several times here. And next week we'll expand going into Chapter 3 on some other aspects of Revit. So that should do you. Thank you.